Hi everyone. We're now going to look at some examples of recursion. Now the first example that we're going to look at is the powerset problem. Now the powerset problem is basically asking what is the all possible subsets of a given set of elements. So for example, if I have the set 1, 2, 3 or the list 1, 2, 3, the powerset of this list contains a bunch of different lists which are subsets. So every list has the subset the empty list. There's also the list containing 1, the list containing 2, the list containing 3. There's also going to be the list of size 2. So 1, 2, 2, 3, and 1, 3. And then finally, the list itself, 1, 2, 3, is a subset of itself. So when we call powerset on the list 1, 2, 3, we should get back a list containing all of these subsets. Now in order to solve this problem, we have to think about it recursively. Now, what it means to think about something recursively is that we essentially have to find a way that we can solve a smaller problem and using the solution to the smaller problem, solve the larger problem. So, if I'm asked what the powerset of the list 1, 2, 3 is, then naturally, let's see if I could get the powerset of a smaller list, such as the list 2, 3, and use that to combine it with the 1 to get the list 1, 2, 3's powerset. So let's see what the powerset of the list 2, 3 is. So it contains the empty list, the list containing 2, the list containing 3, and the list 2, 3. So if I call recursively powerset of 2, 3, I should assume that it works and get these things back. Now, a key observation is that every single element in here, the empty list, the list containing 2 onwards, all are elements of the powerset of 1, 2, 3. This empty list is here, the list containing 2, 3 is here, so on and so forth. However, there's other elements which contain 1 in them. But if you look, it's actually the case that every element here, if I add a 1 into it, will also be an element here. So for example, the empty list with a 1 is just the what? Add a 1 into the 2 is the list containing 1, 2. If I add a 1 into the 3, I get the list containing 1, 3. And if I add a 1 into the 2, 3, I get the list 1, 2, 3. So essentially, it turns out that if I take this powerset of the smaller list and then take that as well as everything with the first element inside of it, this entire set is going to be the powerset of the larger list. So let's actually translate that into code. Powerset of A. So we'll worry about the base case later. But let's think about the recursive case. So my goal is to get all the subsets. So I'm going to make a list, and at the end I'm going to return all the subsets. Now what I want to do is basically loop through every element in the powerset of the smaller list. So for subset in powerset of A, excluding the first element, so this would be from powerset of 2, 3, I know that all the subsets of A, one of the subsets is going to be the subset from the smaller list. However, another subset is going to be the subset from the smaller list plus the first element. So A of 0 plus the subset, this entire thing is going to be a new subset. So essentially, we're going through the subsets of 2, 3, and then adding in the empty list, then the list containing 1, then adding in 2, as well as the list containing 1, 2. And going in and adding these pairs, where one of them is from the smaller powerset, and the other one is adding in the first element from the original larger list. Now, this is a straight implementation of the algorithm we just talked about. Now the question is, when is the base case hit? So the base case, now that we know how we're making the recursive calls, the base case becomes very easy to figure out. We keep taking off the first element, so the question is, when do we have to stop? And that's when we have a list of size 0, because there is no first element to take off. So if the length of A is equal to 0, I have the empty list, so now I need to return the powerset of the empty list. And the powerset of the empty list is the list containing the empty list, because the only subset of the empty list is the empty list. So now if I print out the powerset of the list containing 1, 2, 3, I get the list containing all of these subsets which we originally saw. And that is the powerset problem.